Hi friends, this is Marilyn from tarotclarity.com, and after the past few days of gorgeous tarot decks, particularly the two I presented by Marco Benedetti, the Noble and the 1743 Jean Payen, I have what probably now will seem lackluster, but it is a item that some collectors might appreciate. It's a Tarot of Marseille, specifically the Conver publication by Héron, H-E-R-O-N. This deck that I have is completely in French as far as the box and the little pink book inside. There's no English and there's no date, so I don't know the date of this publication, but I do know that it is of a Conver, and on the box, I think it describes the Conver as a 1761 rather than 1760, which I think is interesting. And for those of you who are interested in collecting tarot decks, this might be one that's on your radar. It's a petite deck. Let me flip the camera so you can see the size. Let's compare it with one by Héron. So the cardstock is not as wide as one by Yves and not as tall. So those of you familiar with the card stock of Héron, you'll recognize that size. This card stock is pretty flexible. It's a nice card stock. Here are the backs of this particular deck. And here are the cards. It seems rather anticlimactic for me to be doing this video because we've seen so many beautiful decks in the past few days. But this is a deck that some people may want to have in their collection. I've discussed a couple of times the yellow paint, or the yellow ink rather, over black. I wonder if it's an attempt to make it appear green. It does appear here. Let me pull the Conver. Card from Yves. Okay, so here is the Conver Death card, and we see the same yellow over the black. I talked about it a few times in I think it was the Payen deck of 1713, the Jean-Pierre Payen. I think they have that in common with this one. Now we know that the Conver is a very popular tarot deck, and perhaps those of us who are familiar with the TdM might have been most familiar with the Conver. my husband gifted me with this deck within the past week, and it was a used deck. It's not a brand new deck because I don't have a date on the packaging or the booklet that came with it, but I presume from having other cards and publications, you know, similar, that this sort of gives me like a 1980 feel, the early 1980s. There we have it. Short and sweet. Until next time, friends, peace and stay well.